Who was Albert Einstein? Chapter 1, Born to Think. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein made his entrance into the world on March 14th, 1879, in Ulm, Germany. He certainly didn't seem like an extraordinary child. He was a chubby and pale with thick black hair. He was so quiet and shy that his parents worried about him. There was something wrong with him. They took Albert to doctors. He doesn't talk, his parents explained. The doctors found nothing wrong. The story goes that Albert didn't speak a word until he was 3 or 4 years old. Then suddenly, over supper one night, he said, "The soup is too hot." Greatly relieved, his parents asked why he had never said anything before. "Because," little Albert replied, "up to now, everything has been fine." Is this story true? There is no proof. Most boys and girls his age played soldiers and other rough-and-tumble games. Not Albert. When Albert saw real soldiers marching with their blank faces, they frightened him. Albert preferred to stay by himself and daydream. He enjoyed playing with blocks and building houses out of playing cards. Some of them were 14 stories high. His parents continued to worry about their lonely and quiet son. They took him to more doctors. Could there be something wrong with his brain? His parents asked. Once again, the doctors found nothing. Nothing wrong with the boy. It was just his nature. He was quiet. He was a thinker. Albert's father and uncle had a business that sold batteries, generators, and wires. Electricity fascinated Albert. It was invisible, powerful, and dangerous. Electricity was like some mysterious secret. Albert pestered his father and uncle with a lot of questions. How fast is electricity? Is there a way to see it? What is it made of? If there's electricity, could there be other strange and mysterious forces in the universe? Albert enjoyed thinking about a world beyond one that could be seen or explained. As he later said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Albert was also fascinated by the compass that his father had given him. No matter what he did with the compass, its needle always pointed in the same direction, north. Albert turned the compass upside down and sideways. He used it in the dark. No matter what, the needle always pointed in the same direction. Albert wondered why. His dad explained that the earth is like a big magnet that's always pulling on the compass's magnet needle. Albert was amazed that some strange and powerful force was all around him. He could not see or feel it, yet it was there, making the compass needle move. Albert had more to think about. School wasn't teaching him about the things that mattered to him. So, at about age 10, Albert started to teach himself. He was going to read as much about science as he could. The magnetic earth. Magnets have invisible forces. Every magnet has two ends, one called the North Pole and one called the South Pole. The North Pole of any magnet is attracted to the South Pole of any other magnet, bringing opposite poles close to each other, and they stick together. But try to bring two like poles together, north and north, or south and south, you can't. The iron inside the Earth's crust magnetic forces. The Earth itself has a North Pole, and near the North Pole and a South Pole end near the South Pole. A compass's needle is magnetic. One end is attracted to the Earth's North Pole and one to the Earth's South Pole. There is an arrow at the end of the compass needle that always points north. Albert also enjoyed playing the violin. Music calmed his active mind. He especially liked playing duets with his mother. She would accompany him on the piano. One day, while they were playing, Albert suddenly realized that music chords were like patterns of numbers. Music rhythms were like counting by 3s, 4s, or 8. Music's just like numbers, he exclaimed to his mother. Albert was thinking even when relaxing. Later, when Albert was famous and traveled all around the world, he carried only 2 things with him: his suitcase and his violin. When Albert was years old, his family moved to the city of Munich, Germany. There, his sister Maja was born. Albert expected a little sister to be like a toy, but Maja had no wheels like his other toys. "Where are the wheels?" he asked his parents, clearly disappointed with the new baby. The wheelless little girl, however, quickly became Albert's best friend. As they grew older, Albert and Maja loved to take long walks and hikes. Often their cousins came with them. The higher the hill, the better, Albert would think. On these thinking hikes, he used his compass and thought more about the mysterious world. More how the mysterious the world was. He would lie on his back in the grass, look at the sky, and think about space. Is anything farther away than space? How fast would somebody have to go to get there? How does light get all the way from the stars to your eyes? How far does space go? Could you ride on a beam of light? Is anything bigger than the universe? It was as if Albert had been born to think. His fathers and uncles helped guide his thinking. His sister and cousins encouraged his thinking heights. Albert found books to help him think out math and science problems, and his mother introduced him to music, which engaged his mind in a way that books could not. Just as some kids dream of becoming mechanics or veterinarians, Albert was destined to be a thinker.